Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. All right. Good morning, Eve, my beautiful twin sister. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. You have been tagged in my most recent video. Okay, I will take a look at that. I will be sure to take a look at that. Thank you. Uh-oh, I hope it's something good. I hope that it's something good. All right. Well, I know many of you are probably looking at that word on my thumbnail and wondering, what is Xenial? What is Xenial? And maybe you all were wondering, what was she going to come up with for X? Well, I had to dig deep. I did. I had to dig deep. But I found this word and I learned this new word myself. This is a new word to me as well. But as soon as I read it, I thought, I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this is. Oh, it is positive. Fantastic. So, what is Xenial, right? Well, the technical definition for Xenial is that it is hospitality between the host and the guest. The hospitality between the host and the guest. But first, before I do that, welcome to You Can Talk. This is the channel of You Can Talk. This is the ABCs of communication. And the letter we're working on this morning is X. And we are using the word Z. X, Xenial. Xenial is what I mean to say. All right. So, like I said, it's hospitality between the host and the guest. But when I saw this, the minute I saw it, I thought immediately, oh, this is good old Southern hospitality. Good, what we call down here in the South, Southern hospitality. So, and that's basically when we are learning to be warm and receptive, when we are learning to be friendly and hospitable, right? These are all things that you would think would be easy for people to do. But believe it or not, it is not. It is absolutely not. Yes. Yes, I love learning new words as well. So I thought I would bring this new word to us this morning. So that's exactly what we're going to be learning about. So I'm going to teach you all some good old Southern hospitality this morning. But how many times have you walked into a store, right? Or walked into a room that was full of people, or sat next to someone, or walked into a room where people were talking, and it could have been full. It could have been full of people, and you walked into the room and no one said a single word to you. No one parted their lips to speak, and you wonder if anyone even noticed that you entered the room. That is why I say it is not always something simple. Or when you walk into the house or walk into a place where your family is and people see you walk in and they don't say a word. And this happens, it's more common than what we know. And I'm sure at some point in your life, many of us have experienced this. So it's not uncommon for people to not speak or to not open their mouths and to not be hospitable and warm and friendly and welcoming towards others. Well, here in the South, that is rude, just downright rudeness, when you don't acknowledge people, when you don't welcome them, when you don't invite them in, make them a part, make them feel comfortable. So why is Xenial communication even important in a relationship? Well, one of the reasons it's important is because it helps to lower barriers. It gives people a sense of safety when they're in a relationship with you, when they're communicating with you. It's kind of like when you run up on a dog and you don't know what to expect, right? The minute you see the dog, you're like, oh, because you're not sure, especially if you're not a dog person. The first thing you look for is whether the tail is down or if the tail is up. And if the tail is down, then they know, okay, this is a safe dog. They're not going to bother me. We can move on about our business around this dog and not have to worry. But if that tail is up and that dog is eyeing you as much as you're eyeing it, you may have a potential problem on your hands. And that's exactly what Southern Xenial does, right? Southern hospitality. When we look at a person and they come at us and we see that they're warm, they're friendly, they're open, they're kind, they're smiling, then we realize, oh, okay, this is a decent person that I'm dealing with. And their defenses are lowered. They don't feel so ready to, be defensive or not knowing how to respond to you. They're more open. And this is important if we're trying to exchange information with the person, if we're trying to build trust in the relationship, or if we're trying to even just establish a relationship. These things help people understand that, hey, I'm here with you, I mean no harm, and I want to have relationship with you. So this is why Xenial, if you can incorporate this into your life, or this what I call Southern hospitality, if you can incorporate this into your life, you can incorporate it into your conversation, it can make all the difference in the world to help the person be more receptive to what it is you have to say, be more receptive to welcoming you into their lives, because they know that you mean well, or for at least from what they can tell on the surface until they get to know us better. So we want to offer help. We want to take others into consideration, all that, being able to show that we care, empathizing, our tone, our voice, our volume, all that is a part of Southern hospitality. It's a part of being Xenial, our facial expressions, how we express. All that gives sign and gives are cues that people pick up on that help them to decide, are we friendly or are we non-friendly, right? Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the easiest way to think about how to be more hospitable, more Xenial, is to think about how it is that you would like to be treated. And our user's manual talks about this all the time. It says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So the way that you would like to be treated is the way we go about treating others. And most of the time, as long as we can keep that mentality in our head, then we're moving in the right direction. So if you're okay with walking in a room and no one says a word to you, then that's probably, and that's okay with you, then that's probably not something that you do. But like I say, if we're trying to establish relationship, if we're trying to build trust, if we're trying to work on things or exchange information, then it's important for us to make sure that we speak to people. Good morning, Jazzy TV. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Burns. And Eve, also, I want to say congratulations on your monetization. I want to say that to you. Congratulations. That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. You've done so much work, and I think it's just phenomenal. So congratulations to you. For those of you who just come in, we're talking about Xenial. Xenial is actually what I like to call good old Southern hospitality. It's the exchange of information. It's being hospitable between the host and the guest. So this is so you can imagine how important that can be in relating to communication. So I'm going to give you all a couple things that we do that can help you figure out ways to incorporate Xenial and Southern hospitality into your conversation. The first one you would think is easy, but it doesn't always happen. And that is always speak. Always speak to people. When people first enter your presence, if at all possible, make sure you speak. How many times have you stood in an elevator, sat next to somebody on a plane, been at your kid's event, where you all were watching your child? You thought it meant denial? Denial. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Xenial means, being kind and hospitable between the host and the guest. So you want to make sure that we do this. One of the ways that we want to make sure that we do this is that we always speak. So often we pass by people and we don't say a word. And especially now that we have these masks on our faces, right? It almost feels like now we have an excuse that I don't have to talk because I have this mask on my face. But that is not how we become warm and welcoming and open and friendly. We speak. Even on my mask, I make sure that I speak to people. I say hello. What does it hurt us to say hello to someone? Good morning. How are you? Are you good today? How are things going? Nice to meet you. These simple little phrases that we forget to incorporate into our communication. And how powerful is it? We think that is something so simple and that it doesn't matter. But how powerful is it for someone who is struggling with being depressed, struggling with being seen, struggling with their self-confidence, struggling with feeling like they're invisible, especially if it's a child or a teenager. If we don't take the time to acknowledge that we see you, I see you, welcome, hello to you. You are here in the world, and I see you, I acknowledge you, and I welcome you. It's powerful. Sometimes just that alone can save a person's life. Um, let's see. Oh, good morning, the positive pusher. Good seeing you. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. All right. So, yes, it helps let people know that they have purpose, that they have purpose on this earth, that they're seen on this earth. And that matters. It's like when we walk by a homeless person, we act like they don't exist. They've lost their sense of, you know, reality. They've lost their sense of being in the world because the world just passes them by every day. But when we stop to say hello to someone, we stop to say hello to that custodial worker, that street sweeper, whoever it is, when we pass by people, speak to people. And I don't mean like if you're surrounded in a room full of folks, you don't have to speak to every single person. But if y'all lock eyes, say hello. Say hello, speak, open your mouth, have a good day. You smell nice, you look nice, good to see you, good seeing you. All those things, speaking matters. It matters. It makes a difference. It shapes how people see us, and it shapes how people determine our character, right? So it lets people know whether you're friendly or whether you're not friendly, whether you're approachable, whether you're not approachable, whether you're open or whether you're standoffish, right? All these things let people know what type of person you are. How many times have someone said to you, you spoke to someone or you had a conversation with someone that you typically don't speak to every day, right? And they say, oh, you're a little different than what I thought. I thought you were mean. I thought you were this or that. And you're like, what? Like, what made you think that? Why did you think I was that way? And I go, well, you never speak, right? So it's because we don't speak our truth. We don't tell people who we are. When we speak to people, when we acknowledge people, we let them know, hey, this is who I am. This is the type of person I am. These are the type of intentions that I come with. And this is my character. But when we don't talk to people, then people make up their own assumptions. And sometimes their assumptions are not always right. Sometimes they can be way off. It's like, oh, you can be the nicest person that they'll ever know, but they won't know that because you don't speak to them. You don't exchange information with them. You don't acknowledge them. So when we speak to people, we tell people who we are. We let people know who we are, and that helps them to know how to treat us, how to talk to us, how to come at us, because they know the type of person that we are. And that makes a big difference when we're trying to establish a relationship with a person. The second thing we want to make sure we do is invite others in. Invite others in, whether it's an event, if you're sitting at the lunch table, if you're at a gathering, if you're just in conversation with someone, invite them in, say, oh, come on in, have a seat, But how many times you walked in a room and there's a room full of people and everybody's looking at you and you're like, can I walk in here? Is it okay for me to walk in here? I'm not sure if I should walk in here. Did I interrupt something? You're not sure, right? You walk into a room, you don't know what's going on. So invite people in and let them know you are welcome here. Come on in. I see you. You're welcome here. You can have a seat. And this is why a lot of times when people go to bars or when they go to clubs or if you've ever been inside of a shelter, people are welcoming. They welcome you. And so, but yet in the world, sometimes even in the church, we walk into the church and people don't speak. Maybe the usher speaks, but that's it. You sit next to somebody, they may look at you and go on about their day. All these things matter. You're shaping a person's impression of you. Like people say, first impressions make a big difference. They matter. They matter. Because as soon as we meet someone, however we show them who we are, makes a difference as to how they'll interact with you. We want people to know that they are welcome. How you show up in the world makes a big difference. And then other things you can do when you're inviting someone into a conversation, let them know what you're talking about. Good morning. We're talking about this. Welcome in. Come on in. We're just talking about this. Do you have any thoughts or opinions about that? Do you have any questions or concerns about what we're talking about? Especially if it's a meeting, or just anything. If it's information, if it's not anything that's secretive or gossipy, we don't want to, right? We don't definitely don't want to be spreading gossip. We're gossiping over here about this person. So come on in and let us know what you think about them. Right? We want to be careful not to do that. But if it's a conversation that you're just talking about something general, uh, invite them into the conversation. Let people know they're welcome. Oh, we're just talking about this, and have you experienced this? Tell me what your opinion is about this. Um, let's see. Eve says sometimes you speak to people and they don't part their lips. Exactly, exactly. And I've experienced that a lot. I've experienced that a lot myself, but it doesn't stop me because I know that I've done my duty. I've done my due diligence, right? Too, because even whether they speak or not, I know that they now have a thought about me. And that's the only concern that I'm worried about, and I also now have a thought about them, but at least they know, oh yeah, she always speaks to me. They may not speak back because that may not be their thing. Sometimes like people aren't morning people, and I can be a little bit too much for people in the morning. I get that. And I respect that. And then, or at night when I'm tired and I'm winding down and someone speaks to me, it's like, I may not be as receptive late at night as I am in the morning. So I get that people don't always, and sometimes we don't know what people are experiencing, what they're going through, what type of interaction they may have just had, what emotional thing they're having. Then I don't always expect for people to be as, receptive towards me as maybe I am towards them, or respond or react the way that they do. I always try not to assume that people aren't going through something, because everybody in the world is going through something, especially these days. If you just walk out of an elevator, especially I work in a hospital. So when I see people in a hospital, people are worried about their loved ones. They're worried about whether or not they're going to live or die, whether or not they're going to make it through whatever it is. I'm in elevators with surgeons and they're struggling, trying to figure out if they're going to make it through, all sorts of things, whether the patient's going to pull through or not after the surgery. So we don't always know, and people aren't always open and receptive to. So we have to just give thought of that. But that doesn't mean that we don't speak, that we can't share a kind word, because that kind word may be exactly what they need to hear at that moment. And I sometimes say, oh, you look like you're having a tough day. I hope things get better for you. Just something that simple, It doesn't even require them to respond, but it just lets them know that I see you, I acknowledge you, and I have care and concern for you. And people appreciate that. People appreciate that and know that I don't have expectations in return. Or you look like you've had a long day. I hope, things get improved. I hope you get some rest this evening. All that simple stuff. I don't even have to expect them to say something, but just me saying something lets them know, oh, okay. And they'll say, thank you. I appreciate that. You have a good day too. Those simple little things shows them that we care. And more importantly, it shows them that they matter, right? It shows people that they matter. What we don't realize is that everyone in this world has something to offer. Everybody is full of gifts and treasures. And if we don't talk to people, if we don't open ourselves up to people, then we don't know what gifts and treasures they contain. They have something to offer in their life. And I make it my business to try to see, oh, what is inside this person? Who is this person? Like, I want to get to know the God in others all the time. I want to get to know the God in people. And that requires us to be open so that people will be willing to open up. How many times, let's see, emotions are flying around all day in your work environment. Empathy all day. Yes. I love that. Absolutely. We definitely need to be more empathetic towards others. We tend to have the thought a lot of times that what we're going through is all that matters. And we don't even give thought that another person may be struggling in their marriage, struggling with their child, struggling with a parent, taking care of a parent. They may be overwhelmed with life, stressed about their job or it's a project they're working on. All kinds of things, their car, their finances, all kinds of things people are experiencing in the world. And we have to be uh, in thought or give thought to that when we're dealing with people, and not always assume that they should just be happy or that they should just be warm and receptive and just okay all the time. Sometimes we run into people who are dealing and struggling with things, especially when I see someone who's angry or upset, then I know that that means it's time for me to share my gifts with them. Right. That means I know that I need to help uplift this person. I need to help encourage this person. I need to impart some kind words in them so that they know that things will get better, that there's hope and love in the world, and that there's a God in the world that they can reach out to. I have to bring that light to that person. So we can't always expect that every time we run into a person that they're just supposed to be nice to us, that they're just supposed to, be kind and open and friendly to us. Sometimes they're in our lives and God brings them across our path so that we can be kind and open and loving on them, because they need it. They need it more than we need it. And so we have to be willing to do that. So keep that thought in your mind when we're dealing with people. Sometimes when people are rude to us, they're angry, all kinds of things, I think, oh, this person is going through something, right? I don't always take it personal. I don't always take it personal when people are snapping at me or saying something to me that is a little bit off kilter. I think, oh, okay, this person is going through something. I need to, bring some light and spread some light into their life, because they're obviously going through something and I'm not. So let me be kind to them. And you can change and shift a person's mood within a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, just by exchanging a few words with them. Just sometimes letting them know that I know you just dealt with that difficult customer, but I'm not going to be that difficult customer for you. And it can shift their mood and be like, you can almost see them start to be like, okay, I can help you. This is going to be a better exchange than the last, or a better encounter than the last situation was that I just dealt with. So, and you can shift people's mood just like that by being kind and hospitable and more Xenial. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Being relatable so that they can let their guard down. Absolutely. We want them to let their guards down. We want them to be open, to be receptive, and to impart some light into their life. How many times that, and here's one of the benefits of this. How many times have you, because you were kind to someone, right? Because you walked into a room, you needed something, maybe you needed something, right? And you were too late for it. Maybe you were too late. Maybe they were out of what you needed, or anything could happen. But because you were so nice and so kind, an exception was made for you, right? Because they're thinking, oh, wow. Because we've been so kind to this person, we didn't, cause problems, or we didn't, lash out at them for not being able to do what we wanted. They were willing to give up their last, right? They were willing to maybe stay a little later to help us, or maybe they did without so that we could have, right? Or maybe even they allowed us to do it in replace of them. Oh no, you go ahead and go, because, I appreciate who you are, I appreciate how you are. These little things, being Xenial and hospitable, opens the doors to blessings. It opens the doors to blessings. So, and that has happened to me many a times, where people were willing to give up their last, or stay a little later, or do whatever it was I needed, just because I was able to, be kind to them, and I didn't, have any expectations. So that's another thing that being Xenial does. Let me see what you all are saying. Let's see, sure can. I have done that so many times. And they were like, you are sunshine. You are, well, Burns, you are most definitely sunshine always. Everywhere you go, you are just a little ball of sunshine. So even when I see you crying or upset, I see you still having a smile on your face. And I just think, you are such a light. Truly, you are such a light in the world. So I imagine, yes, that people do all kinds of nice things for you, because you just exude kindness and love and all those wonderful things. Yes, favor. That's exactly what it's called, Eve, favor. That is the right term for that. When we are kind to others, people show favor upon us. And that is what we want, right? That is what we want. Because when we do that, then we're also willing to do that for others. And how different of a world would we be able to live in if people were kind and we were able to show favors to everyone in the world? It would be a different kind of world. We'd be living in a different kind of world. So the third thing we want to do is offer assistance. There's not a person in the world that couldn't use something that we have to offer, whether they want to admit it or not. We're here to be dependent upon each other. And the main way that we do this, the main way that we offer assistance is that we look for the need. We have to pay attention, which means we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to people, look for their needs. When I run into people, the first thought in my mind is speaking to them, getting to know them a little bit. How can I be of service to this person? I remember when I was a little girl and I was in Girl Scouts for several years. One of the things that they charged us to do was we had to do 3 good deeds every day. And I remember being a little girl, 7, 8 years old, thinking, oh, I haven't done a good deed today. But just knowing the thought that I had to do a good deed put me in the consciousness to look for somewhere where I could be of need, where I could be of service. And how different of a world would we live in if we looked at people and looked for how we could better serve them? How can I uplift this person? How can I help this person, right? If we walked around the world thinking about how can I help others rather than how can I help myself? How can I help myself? That would be something different. So if we work to figure out how we can be of assistance to people, that is what being Xenial does. And being, if you offer them a glass of water, you see someone struggling, you see someone needing help, opening the door or carrying something heavy or reaching up on a shelf that they can't reach. All these little things makes a difference in showing people how to be Xenial, how to be kind, how to be hospitable, anything that we see that they need. Can I get a chair for you? All these little things, and people, and you think, oh, wow, or doing something nice for someone. I mean, paying for something that they would have probably, like paying for somebody's coffee, or I think, Burns, you even had an experience like that where someone had paid for your coffee and what that did for your spirit that day, right? What that did for your spirit that day. Welcome to the Salah channel. Hello, good morning. Welcome in. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Welcome, welcome. Yes, crying is a good thing. We must tune in with our emotions. Yes. Yes, it does. So yes, we absolutely need to figure out where we can offer assistance, look for the need, figure out where can we be of assistance to people. And the last one is show appreciation. Show appreciation for the things that people do. The more we show appreciation to people, the more they're willing to do things for us. When we see that people are ungrateful when we've taken the time to do something, it makes us not want to do it again, right? So make sure that we show gratitude. Make it your business. Make it your business every day to give people a kind word, to show gratitude, to say thank you somewhere for something that they've done to you. All kinds of ways that we can do this. And especially if you're within a relationship or with your loved one or at work, there's so many things that we can say in order to show appreciation. I've often seen fathers with their children or mothers with their children, and I'll say something like, oh, I see how you interact with your children. I can tell that they're loved. I can tell that those kids have a lot of love for you, or that you have a lot of love for them, just by the way I see the joy on their faces, right? Something that simple can make people just feel so happy and so proud that people can see that they love their kids. I see you taking the time to do your hair or your nails, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate your beauty. I think you're beautiful. Though something as simple as that. I see how much patience. Thank you for being patient with me throughout this situation, throughout this thing I've been struggling with. Me seeing you be patient is helping me to have more trust in people. It's helping to grow my trust in people. These simple things, small statements, yet powerful statements, make a huge difference in how people see the world. Something as simple like saying, I know that you're struggling with this. I happen to know that, maybe you know that the person is struggling with something. But when I look and see how you show up in the world, how you push through, how you keep that smile on your face, you help me to believe in strength. You show me how strong you are. And that encourages me to be strong. And, these simple little things help us to show appreciation, and not just by just saying thank you, right? A lot of times there's so many ways that we can, show appreciation for people and pour into people's lives, rather than just the simple thank you. But yes, there all these things can help us to do things. When we acknowledge good, more good will come. Believe it or not, we're still very much like children, right? When we interact with kids, when you compliment a child and you say, "Oh, you did that so well. Oh, I like the way you did that." What do? They immediately, start doing it again. And then they're going to try to do it better. They're going to try to outdo the way they just did it. They want to do it again and again and again, right? We're the same way. We're not much different. We're not very different. Where we all have somewhat of a people-pleasing spirit inside of us, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. We're always wanting to please our kids. We want to please our boss, our supervisor. Maybe we want to please a new friend, or a new relationship, maybe a mentor, someone who's helping us. We want people to be happy. We want people to be pleased and excited, or acknowledge the good that we do. That's why social media is as huge as it is, because people like seeing those likes. They want to know that they've made a difference in your life, that who they are matters, and that they have purpose. That helps give people purpose. So those little things, you hitting that like button makes a difference for people, because it lets them know that what they're doing is good, is appreciated. So yes, all these things help us to be more xenial and more hospitable in our lives. So I hope that you can incorporate some of these things into your life: speaking, inviting others in, offering assistance, and showing appreciation. Just 4 simple little things that I'm leaving with you this morning. Make it your business today to be kind to someone, to be more xenial with someone today. And every day, make it your business so that we can improve the health of our relationships. Let's see. Yes, Eve says, yes, appreciate no one. No one wants to feel like they're being used. Yes, and we'll cut people get cut off quickly, yes, when they feel like they're being used. Yes, be kind to people if you see they're taking advantage of it. And that's why I always say, do what you feel comfortable with. Do what you feel comfortable with, because if you're doing it just to try to get something out of the other person, you're gonna feel negative about it. But I don't do anything that I don't feel comfortable with doing, that I wouldn't do over and over again. And if I feel that if it's not something that I want to do, or if I'm only doing it because I'm looking for them to respond to it, then I don't need to be doing it anyway. But if I see that they don't appreciate it, yeah, I'm probably not going to be so quick to do it again and again. So all these things make a difference. All these little things make a difference in how we show appreciation. All right. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Tomorrow I will have a lesson coming out, and then Friday we'll be back here with the letter Y. We're almost done with our letters. So I know you all are wondering, what's next, Ruth? What are you going to do when you get to Z? Well, I have a thought about what we're going to do. We're still going to be doing the ABCs of communication, but we're going to switch to a different topic and go through the alphabet again on those things. And I hope it'll be fun. I hope it'll be fun. I hope you all will enjoy it. So we'll see about that. So don't worry. I'm still going to be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday doing class in the mornings. You're not getting rid of me so quickly just yet. So, all right. So I'm going to say a quick prayer, and then we will head on. Father, we come thanking you this day for who you are. Thank you for the blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day, your love, your kindness, your mercy. Father, you first showed us how to be xenial. You showed us kindness when we didn't deserve it. You loved on us when we didn't deserve it. You showed us grace and mercy when we don't deserve it. No matter how we respond, even on the times that we don't appreciate it, you still do for us each and every day. Help us to remember that when we're dealing with others in the world. Help us to treat others the way we would want to be treated. Show others love and kindness, appreciation, inviting others in, speaking, Lord. Just help us to be able to speak to people, to impart kind words of love and wisdom and hope and light inside of them. Leave them with our gifts. Be willing to be open. Help us to create safety in our relationships. And when we are exchanging information and words with people, when we're trying to establish our relationships, Father, help us to remember that these are your children, and that ultimately when we are kind to someone, we are showing them the love of you, that we are being witnesses to your light and to who you are in our lives. So help us to not feel that we can't do this or that they don't deserve it, Father, because we don't do it for them, Father, we do it for you. And we thank you, Father. You said, even if you do it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. So help us to keep that in our minds when we're interacting with others, to be kind and to treat them with love and respect. And to be hospitable towards them. Bless each and every person in this chat. Help them to make it their business today to be more Xenial and hospitable with those that they have interactions with and those that are watching the replay. We love you. We thank you. These things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. You all have a blessed and phenomenal day. You all take care, and I will see you on Friday. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.